This is John Lindenball from John Lindenball Tutoring, and this video is If Math is Your Bag, You'd Better Call Saul. Problems based on Better Call Saul, Season 5, Episode 8, Bagman. Here's my contact information, and if you find that you like this video after you've watched it, why not click on that like and the subscribe and even the little bell for notifications. That way you'll be helping me out, you'll be subscribed, and you'll even get notifications when I come out with new videos. So let's check this video out. How Saul got caught holding the bag. Saul negotiated a fee of $100,000 for pickup and delivery of $7 million in cash for Mr. de Guzman. Mr. de Guzman balks at the price, but Saul insists it's less than 2% of the money he's delivering.
100,000? Dollars?
Yeah,
That's a lot of money.
to bring back 7 mil, and I'm the best guy to do it. That's actually less than 2% commission. I think it's right.
So, let's check that out, shall we? We're going to take a look at this, and so, to find out the percentage, what we have to do is take the amount that Saul wants, which is $100,000, divide that by the total, which is 7 million, so that's 7 followed by 6 zeros, and that gives me 0.0142, and the problem that we're doing, it says to the nearest hundredth of a percent, so that's going to be, okay, well 1, that's 1%, and we know that because if we multiply this by 100, we get 1.42. Okay, so it's going to be 1.42%. Oh, but we're going to the nearest hundredth, so this next digit is in the thousandths place. Thousandths is 8, so that means in the hundredths place, that 2 is going to be rounded up to 3. So the percentage is going to be, it will just be 1.43%. So that's the answer, 1.43. All right. So Kim says,
You're going to pick up $7 million of cartel money?
I know what you're thinking, but it's safe. Completely. I'm just a quick drive down by the border.
The
I'll be
border?
right back.
Jimmy, you are an attorney, not a bagman.
and after Saul actually goes and picks up the money, he runs into his friend Mike, and it turns out that those bags of money are very heavy. This would have been much easier if they were all $1,000 bills.
Big mistake. Discontinuing. $1,000 bill. Big. These would have been so much lighter.
So, as we can see here, the $1,000 bill was officially discontinued in 1969, but the last time it was actually printed was 1946. So that's what Saul was talking about when he said it was a mistake that they discontinued the $1,000 bill. So the next question is, what would $7 million in 50s weigh? How about hundreds? Well, let's find out. Okay, so it's roughly at 24 minutes or so, it says, Saul says this would have been so much easier if it were in $1,000 bills. It's actually phrased a little bit differently, as you've seen. But anyway, so we want to figure out what $7 million in 50s would weigh, or what in hundreds would weigh. Let's do the hundreds first, because that's a little bit easier. First, we found out from Bing that every U.S. bill weighs 1 single gram. So, $1 million in hundreds weighs 10 kilos. How do I know that? Well, because what I'm going to do is I just divide 1 million. So we're going to go 1 million, and we're going to divide that by 100, and we get 10,000. So that is 10,000, and we're going to multiply that by grams. Well, it's 1 gram, so that's 10,000 grams. So then to get kilograms, we're just going to divide that by 1,000, because kilo literally means 1,000. So 1,000 grams is 1 kilogram. So we get 10 kilograms. All right, or 10 kilos. So $1 million in hundreds weighs 10 kilos. So 7 million would be 7 times that much. So you should be able to guess it, but in case you can't, let's go on to the next page. So then we know that 7 million is 7 times 1 million. $1 million in $100 bills weighs 10 kilos. So then the weight of $7 million in $100 bills is just going to be 7 times 10 kilos, which is 70 kilos. So what if the money were all in 50s? It would just be twice as much, because you need twice as many 50s to get the same amount of cash as you would get if you had the money in hundreds, right? Because you need two $50 bills to be as much as one $100 bill. So then that would be 140 kilos if it were $50 bills. But what if the money were all in $1,000 bills? Well, okay, then we'd have to divide by 10, since we'd only need 1/10 of the bills. So the weight would be, instead of 70 kilos for $7 million in hundreds, it would only be 7 kilos, because you would only need 1/10 the number of that. And as it says here, well, again, every bill weighs a gram, so basically that would mean $1 million in $100 bills weighs around 10 kilograms. So what if the bills were all in $20 bills? Well, same problem. Okay, so we know to get the same amount of cash, you would need 5 $20 bills to equal one $100 bill, because that's, 5 times 20 equals 100. So then what you would have to do is you'd have to multiply by 5. So 20 times 5 is $100 bills, so we would need 5 times as many bills, so the weight would be 70 kilos times 5, which is 350 kilos. That's really, really heavy. That's basically like 2 really big people, 2 weightlifters or 2 sumo wrestlers, something like that. So $1 million in $100 bills, as we already know, weighs 10 kilos, so 7 million would be 70 kilos. But what if the bills were 5s? Well, how many $5 bills do we need to get $100? Okay, to get $100 out of 5s, you would have to have 25 $5 bills, right? So it's 20 times $5 equals $100, so we need 20 times as many bills. So the weight would be 70 kilos times 20, which would be 1,400 kilos. Holy cow, that would be really, really, really heavy. And finally, what if the bills were hundreds, or not were hundreds, were ones? Well, then you would need 100 times as many as if you had the same amount of currency in $100 bills. So you need to take the 70 kilos that we already know about, multiply it by 100, and that would be 7,000 kilos. That would be roughly the weight of 2 fully loaded semi-trucks, 18-wheelers. Full of something heavy, because the maximum load is a little bit more than that for 2 kilos, but not for 2 semi-haulers, but not by much. So again, that's really, really huge. Think of 2 humongous transport trucks all full of something heavy like rocks or gravel, something like that. Okay, and if you want to check this out, you can go to the weight of a semi-truck here. Which is here. It talks about how much is a semi? Okay, a semi weighs about 35,000 pounds. Fully loaded, it's 80,000 pounds. Well, and our conversion factor is going to be 80,000 pounds divided by, it's roughly 2.2 pounds per kilo. So then you get 36,363.66663 So that's just about exactly, if you multiply that by 2, it's a little bit more than 70,000. It's about close to 73,000. So that's pretty close to what I just estimated before. All right. And pennies from heaven, or are pennies from somewhere a little bit lower than that? So every penny, a 1 US cent, is 2.5 grams. At least that's what it weighs when it's minted. You know, some of the copper and zinc, etc., may come off. But anyway, so I did a Google search for weight of 1 cent. This is what I got. So now if we take $7 million and we multiply that by 100 cents per dollar, okay, the dollars cancel out, so we get 700 million cents. 700 million times 2.5 grams is 1,750,000,000 grams, which is 1,750,000 kilograms. Now, that is roughly the weight of one modern aircraft carrier, such as the USS Gerald Ford, currently the largest aircraft carrier in existence. And that weighs about 100,000 tons, or roughly 100 million kilograms, because 1 metric ton is exactly 1,000 kilograms. A U.S. ton is about 918 kilograms. From reading the source, I couldn't tell whether they were using metric tons or U.S. tons. It doesn't matter that much when you're dealing with numbers that big, certainly not for our purposes. So basically, that many pennies would weigh about as much as the biggest aircraft carrier in existence. I believe China is making some even bigger ones, but whatever. It doesn't really matter to me that much. It just gives you an idea of how huge this whole thing is and how heavy it would be in pennies. And just for fun, you can find articles about how tax protesters have paid their taxes in pennies. You usually see it in kind of the, weird news of the weird, the lighter side kind of things. So you can find things like Montco protester pays tax bill with 50,000 pennies. So this was from the Philadelphia Inquirer, and here it is. Okay, so you can see this guy just in time to save his house from a sheriff's sale. Oh, that's kind of sad. So he caved in and he paid it in pennies. So, okay, so this is in Montgomery County. Okay, which I assume is probably somewhere near Philadelphia. So, the next thing is, let's go on to, man visits 15 banks collecting pennies to try to pay property taxes and still falls short. So, same thing. Oh, this is the same guy, actually. Okay, this is Stephen Piotrowski. And anyway, so he wanted to pay the whole thing. So he came up with 50,000 pennies, but he paid the remainder of his bill using coins and a few dollars. So he did his best to be really annoying. Okay, so let's look at the next one. And, okay, U.S. man pays his tax bill using 5 wheelbarrows of coins. And, okay, so, yeah, pop up. And this is a guy who paid his DMV bill, apparently. $3,000 tax bill from the Department of Motor Vehicles in Virginia with 5 wheelbarrows full of pennies. I'm actually surprised that they actually took this. I would figure really all jurisdictions would say, I'm sorry, we can't take cash, or we can't take unrolled coin, things like that. A lot of businesses will do that. If you don't have them in nice, neat penny rolls, they will not take them, and a lot of them just won't take that at all. All right, I hope that this video has been helpful to you, and the information at the end is just some general information on how to contact me, etc. But hey, why not stay and find out how to contact me and some other. Did you find this video useful? Please like it and subscribe to my channel. Neither action costs you anything. You'll be alerted about my new videos. Why? It's really simple. YouTube doesn't let me share any ad revenue unless I have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours. That's 240,000 minutes of view time in a year. While many people are watching these videos, I don't have 4,000 hours of watch time in the last year. I do, however, have 1,000 subscribers, actually more than 1,000 subscribers at this time. So thank you so much to everyone who actually helped me out by subscribing. Ad money will help me make more of these videos. And speaking of ad money, if you've seen an ad during this video or my other videos, please know that I did not get any of the ad money, and I won't until I have the subscribers and view time that YouTube demands. For the same reasons, you are not only welcome but encouraged to share links to this video, put it in playlists, etc. I gladly read and respond to constructive criticism or suggestions for new videos that are also constructive. I reserve the right to delete comments such as troll posts or spam for obvious reasons. Nobody likes trollers and spam. You can hire me for tutoring. We can do it online through Zoom or some other similar internet platform, or we can meet in person. I live in the San Francisco Bay Area, so if you're around there, it's pretty easy for me to come see you. I do travel to other cities sometimes, so you can always contact me and ask me if I'm going to be in your city, and that's another way that I might be able to meet with you in person. Thanks for watching, and my contact information follows. You can contact me on Facebook, facebook.com/Linnaball Tutoring, all one word. Instagram, it's instagram.com/John.Linnaball.tutoring. And the phone number, this is my cell phone, 415-623-4251. You can always call me or leave a text message. Email, you can always email me at john@johnlinnaball.com. Website, you can reach me at johnlinnaball.com or johnlinnaballtutoring.com. They take you to the same website. And you can also find me at testpreparation.locals.com and at lbry.tv at John Linnaball Tutoring. That's a nifty little site, lbry.tv. My actual postal mail address is John Linnaball Tutoring at 1859 Powell Street, number 109, San Francisco, California, 94133. Things. All right, talk to you later.